Hello and welcome to another episode of No Load Time. My name is Obed Velez, and with me, it's the most interesting man in the world, Joe Young.
Obed, what's good? What's good? What's good? And Obed, I might actually say I might not only be the most interesting man in the world, I think we might be the most interesting man
I don't
internationally.
either. The most international man in the world,
The most international
Joe
man. I
Young.
don't know.
Wow, man,
Stats don't lie.
stats don't stats don't lie. Oh man, yeah. I mean, I guess since you're referring to it, right? You thanks again, guys, for your support. It's been an incredible last few weeks, so we are really grateful for you coming in, hanging out. I guess the algorithm kind of works, which is great, and I'm really excited. So, yeah, no, we were running through stats and found out that a huge part of our viewers and listeners too, if you are listening to the podcast version are international. So, yeah, welcome,
Absolutely.
bienvenidos, whatever language you speak.
Yeah.
You're more than
Yeah.
welcome. We give it to you, the people.
All right,
this
Bane.
is for you. Yeah,
Yeah.
Joel, how you doing?
No, I'm doing really great. I'm doing really great. I'm so glad though just to see how well we're doing here. Years of hard work and man, it's paying off for sure. Making plans. The Florida SuperCon is the first con that's coming up now that we're in June that I'll be going to cover. Technically, it's literally the end of the month, but 29 days away. What can we say? So they've just put out their full schedule. So I'm putting together my list and checking it twice and making sure that
Oh,
I'll do as much as I can of coverage for you guys and make sure I really hustle it for you guys. I saw Zachary Levi dropped out, but I did get to see him at MegaCon, so that's not really a concern. And
with the
and
Joel with the hard hitting questions, or at
with the heart, yeah,
yeah.
he ran away.
Yeah. Oh, he didn't start yelling at you like some people do
Right.
when you ask questions to them.
I know. He's what a character this guy is. I will say he's a character. But no, I'm pretty excited to be out there, and there's plenty of other celebs that will be out there that I'm sure I'll be able to get some good Q&A for. Tampa's going to be the one that I think I'll have the best opportunity to get direct contact based on what they've communicated to me in advance, but that won't be till the end of July. So my point being is stay with us, stay tuned. Lots of really cool stuff coming up. But Obed,
Joel was gonna say stay woke.
no, what? Obed's hearing things. I don't know, man. Stay awake. Don't go to sleep.
So the first time that I
Uh,
heard it coming from Joel, though,
I was saying it before it was cool.
yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, yeah. No, I've
Um,
known you for a while, and that's
you know me. You know me.
I can attest to that.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Oh man. But dude, what's up with you, man? How things
yeah.
going? Any cool stuff you've been up to?
No, not much, man. I've been really busy with work this week. I'm actually on
Yeah.
vacation officially until I'm out all next week.
Well
By the
deserved.
way, I guess this would be a good time to announce that there will be no show next week. So
Yeah.
I will try my best to clip as much as I can and post it out there on YouTube for you guys to watch. So against the those clips have been doing really well, so we're gonna keep on going. So we're gonna keep that ball rolling. Um, but nothing too crazy on my end. I haven't watched anything. The only thing I mean I have a story, I guess, right? I got through a pretty um a pretty I guess I had a little harder part on Jedi Survivor, right? A big pivotal boss fight that I did, and everything was going great. I was like, oh man, I spent a little. This boss fight was challenging. The getting to the boss was challenging, right? Um, and I go back to Kobo. I was like, all right, let's go back to Kobo. Let's do a couple of things around, and then let's go to our marker. I need to go back in Kobo. I go, and this is not the first time that it's happened, but you made it to the bar in Kobo, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you know that there's the safe spot at the
Mm-hmm.
basement, right?
Go down. Yep.
So a few weeks ago, it crashed on me, on that save spot in the game. Right, I saved and then
Okay.
crashed. The game crashed. So I did a couple things in Kobo. Got a couple of the the BD1 treasure sets or the treasure sets that are around the area. Went to this area that I've never been before. Fought a little monster guy and whatever. I go back to that spot, dude. I was like, all right, let's go. I'm gonna go fast travel to the spot that I need to be for the story bit, and I'll call it a day. This was what, Monday? It's Monday, dude. I hit the fast travel thing. The game crashes, dude. PS5 comes back. Your save data is corrupted.
Wait.
Yep,
Time out.
yep.
Did you lose all of it,
I
or
had to
did
I
you?
had to resync from PSN, and luckily I had sync from the day before.
Okay, because I was
So
like, dude, did you lose
so
all and had to restart the
so
campaign? That would have
I
been
lost like
wild,
I lost
dude.
like 3 hours,
No
which is
way. Wow,
awful, right? But
that's a lot.
I mean, good thing is that those 3 hours, a good 45 minutes was trying to figure out what I needed to go, right? At least I'm gonna say 45 minutes, but it stinks. Um, this is the third time that I've had the game crash. It's unfortunate, but not very common. Like I don't think I had RE4 crash once. This one, like I mentioned, crashed 3 times. I never had God of War crash. Never had Horizon crash. I think I had Elden Ring crash once. But it's, yeah, man. This game, it's still a work in progress. I
Wow,
guess,
need some more patch updates.
man. I mean, it's good. I can't. It's undeniably good. That game is really good, man. But it's tough, right? I don't know if you saw that there was um uh, there's like I guess some data that they collected from the game, like which is the most popular haircut, the most popular like beard setup, right?
Yeah, I saw that.
And then like the lightsaber setup, the single lightsaber is the most popular one, and I can understand that, right? Because I've been trying to test out and play around with the other stances, but that one is that one's the most balanced one. Like that one provides the probably the better defense and offense combination, right? Better damage, like speed. I think like out of all the stances, that one's probably the best. I tried the big one with the hill, the Kylo Ren style, and it's just slow. I mean, it does a ton of damage though. Like it's really strong, but it's just so slow. And I'd rather just be able to have better mobility than have the higher damage. So yeah, I mean, it's a great game. I'm gonna play tomorrow and see if I can make it back to where I was, so which is you know unfortunate. But I've been trying again. Zelda is still great. Pretty decent progress on that. I'm hoping to hopefully this weekend get enough hearts to go out and do like the first big like story bit, because I haven't done any of the story bits. I've been just flangling around and going to place, and I was like, oh, let's go to this place, let's see if it's still the same. I was like, oh, it's kind of different. Oh, this thing wasn't here before. Oh, this is new and that. So it's basically rediscovering the game, which is great. And it's a great game. It still plays very well. So I'm gonna put some time on that over the weekend and the next coming week. I'm hoping to go. More than likely, we're gonna go to Animal Kingdom next week. I'll
Oh,
let you.
cool.
I'll let you know how that goes. It all depends on my daughter. She's still undecided. So uh,
Well, if you do it, you gotta do Flight of Passage. I don't think you have yet
I
to
haven't
ride
done
that,
it. I
right?
haven't done
So
it.
that's,
So
I
if
really
I,
want to hear your thoughts if
yeah,
you
yeah.
can.
If I make it, I'm totally gonna make do my best to get there. So if we get there, it's gonna be early. So that's probably gonna be the first thing that we're gonna try and knock out.
Yeah.
That way we just focus on other stuff. But yeah, that's basically it, man. It's it's going good. So all right. Kind of a slow news week, I guess, right? But I know that reviews for Spider Verse are out there. It's reviewing
Yeah.
well. You're gonna go watch it tomorrow, so
I will.
I
Yep,
guess
and I'll have a review out for
yep.
that for sure.
So we can expect a review for that. Um, the only thing that I want to touch on that, Joel, I don't know, and I want to get your opinion on this.
Mhm.
It's I don't know if you heard what happened to the Latin America dub for this movie.
No, I've not heard.
Okay. So I don't know who, made the final call on this, right? But a lot of people are up in arms about the Latin America Spanish dub because a lot of the characters, I would say like the majority of the characters in the movie, the people are going to be doing the dub are social media influencers and not voice actors. So a ton of like legendary voice actors, like the guys that did the dub for Dragon Ball Z and like all these guys, like and the I've said it before, the the Spanish dub, the Latin America dub for DBC is the best version of DBC,
Wow.
and including the Japanese, the is better than it's the best version in my opinion. So you got this guys out there saying, "Oh yeah, like they didn't even talk to us. They just bypassed voice actors and gave all these roles to influencers." So there's a few interviews out there. Again, guys that did voices for DBC, some other voice actors. Yeah, I'd say that their outrage and their negative feels about it. I can totally get behind that. I think it's do I don't there's no reason why you would need to bypass these guys, right, that have the experience and go for influencers, because people are gonna still go watch the movie. um I mean I totally agree with their point. Like I'm not against the if you're an influencer, right, and you can voice act, that's fine, right? um like the best example I can give you is Jung Ye. Young, yeah, he's
Yeah.
done his YouTube channel since the Metal Gear Solid 5 days. It's like doing his YouTube channel for almost 10 years, if 10 years already. And I've been following him for a long time, and he eventually made it. He became a voice actor. Like he did uh the priest in JoJo, and he's been working with other projects. He's done I think a couple games. So um that's fine. If you worked your way up, right? That's awesome. But just Sony, if this is the case, right, of Sony coming out and saying, hey, instead of just hiring voice actors, we're just gonna give it to influencers, just because your influencers are gonna give us, people are gonna go watch the movie because their favorite influencers in the movie, then that's a problem. So how do you feel about that, man?
Yeah, I did not hear about this, but just hearing you explain to me on just that, my first initial reaction is it's not necessary for a movie. I don't think it's really necessary for any movie. I don't think it really helps any movie. But if just try and put my marketing hat on, like I don't think it's necessary at all for a movie like this that is tracking extremely well. Like if if a movie's struggling, you start trying to bring in any sense of marketing, and influencers can carry the message for you for free. You pay them for one thing, and then they're just gonna keep talking about it, positively because they're a part of it. Um, like that's just kind of the way it goes. But this movie doesn't need that. This movie already has great word of mouth, having extremely talented voice actors for a movie that, let's be fair, its predecessor was nominated, and there's a very strong chance that we've not seen it yet. Tomorrow I'll see it. And this very well could be nominated as well for Best Animated Picture. Wouldn't you want to make sure that you have? I'm not saying that these people aren't talented, the influencers, but wouldn't you want to have some industry names attached to it in every aspect, from the editing, from the designing to the voice talent to every aspect. I would think you'd want to make sure you don't take any shortcuts here. You spend the money where you need to.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not a jab at the influencers, but I don't think a project like this needs it. Like we're gonna talk about the Flash here in a little bit, but like a movie like that needs to have influencers talking about it because it's tracking horribly.
Yeah.
Like this is not the situation here, and the talent saying that they never got asked. I I was
Yo,
like,
so,
Obed,
so like going back right now, right? I'm
yeah,
scrolling. I found I because I've been scrolling through articles, but I did find another
sure,
article from Mexico right now. The like they're going like full on, dude. It's like even Miles is an influencer. Like is he not? Is
strange.
not even he's not a voice actor.
So do you want the job, Obed?
Good job. I'm not an influencer. I can't even.
Come on.
I can't even influence myself. It's like, do I need this? Probably don't. You
For
probably
the right
don't.
price.
You probably don't need it for the right price.
I'm missing.
Do I need
Call
to
Sonny.
spend money on this?
Um,
Probably not. But should I though?
Obed's got a great mic. He's got a great voice, and
Hey, go! Great
you
voice.
know,
Look at that. It's like
yeah,
great
man.
mic. It's like Mike was a gift.
Just lock
The
that door
OG,
in and start reading lines, man.
OG Mike is there. Yeah, I can make a little sound booth, right? A little like audio booth, so I don't get any echo or anything. But dude,
Call him, Sony.
honestly,
Call him.
it's like it's fun. You know, now that you mention it, right? Because I play around with my daughter a lot, and I do a lot of voices for her, right?
Yeah,
And little like
sure.
cartoon characters and Mario
Yeah.
characters and whatnot. And she's like, "How can you do so many voices?" And I was like, I don't know. Maybe I should give it a try. Who knows? Put
Oh,
a
there
demo
you go,
tape out
Obed.
there.
Do it. Do it.
The Mellow Time channel.
I will support this.
Yeah, but yeah, man. I mean, you know, when you're
Like,
talking about like veteran, like industry guys that have been doing dubs for many years, like this guy's in Mexico, they're getting overlooked just because these guys have like TikTok followers. It's kind of it's kind of cringe, man. Yeah. So, no, I just wanted to get your opinion on that because I wanted to talk about it last week and I forgot because it came out
no,
last
good
week.
call.
Um, like this has been going on for a couple weeks now, but then I remember last week and then I forgot. But it's like, hey, I need to talk about this on this one, so I pulled it up
Totally.
uh, before we went in. But yeah, I'm excited for this movie. This movie looks good. It's trending well. I bet that you're really excited about it. So
I'm pumped.
yeah, that's good, man. Um, cool. Going back to did we do the PlayStation Showcase was it last week or the week before? Yeah, it was last week that we talked about
Well,
it,
yeah, it
right?
was
Yeah,
last
yeah,
week, but you made a prediction, and very quickly, our boy Colin started dropping some insider knowledge, and it went everywhere.
yeah. That's what I. That's like, and this was exactly what I thought, man. Like this is
Yeah.
not gonna be the only event that they're gonna have, right?
Nope.
This was probably just we gotta get this out of the way, but then we'll have more stuff during the year, and yeah, so basically I guess we can call it a rumor, right? It's
Yeah, it's not
unconfirmed.
confirmed.
It's
Yep.
unconfirmed, but you know, the rumor is that the PlayStation showcase that we had last week is not going to be the last one. Like, there's going to be another event, more than likely later in the summer. Usually, did they do one in September last year? A state of play.
I want to say yes. I want to say yes.
Yeah, I think they did. Um, so this is probably the case, right? This is, you know, they're gonna do they needed to get stuff out of the way. We'll probably get a standalone Spider-Man state of play where they can showcase Spider-Man, announce the date, and do the thing, right? And then after that, we'll probably get uh, another event, and that's not counting whatever's gonna happen during the Summer Games Fest and what
Mhm.
could be announced at the Game Awards, right? Which are always big platforms that
Yeah.
everyone, you know, both Sony and Microsoft and Nintendo use to to make big announcements.
I
So,
was gonna say Keely's running that so well. He's taking E3's thunder.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. He did.
He knows.
Like he. Well, the thing is that last year he was the one, right? Because E3
Yep.
was nowhere last year. Um, is that you don't have to go crazy, right? It's like I think E3 got too big for its own good.
Yeah,
And
I think
I
so.
think like rebranding E3 into a gaming Comic Con, it's probably gonna be the best solution for that problem that they're having. Right?
Yeah.
Still make you know announcements, still have your thing, right? But I think more of a convention style of
Like a
thing.
celebration. Yeah.
Exactly, and I think that from what I heard, that's what they were trying to do this year. But it fell through because these companies don't need to be there. They don't need the crazy booths. They don't need to make the crazy shows and announcements and all that. Um, I think they should just concentrate on trying to bring people in, bring fans in, make it a an event for the fans and the media. Which in the past it was media only. They tried doing the
Hmm.
fan thing. They went back to media. Then they went back to fans. They were like back and forth, right? Um, yeah, I think that making it like Comic Con, making it fan centric, and then have all the events happening around it, right? That's the way to do it.
Absolutely.
And we don't need trade shows like this anymore. Like even CES to some point at some point CES is going to become
Yeah.
obsolete, right? And the thing that's keeping CES alive is um they have a lot of prototype stuff, and people want to go there and see the paper thin TV that you can roll up and
Hmm.
and stick on your wall with tape, right?
The
That's
flying car and
Yeah,
whatever.
exactly. So all this stuff, that's what's bringing people to CES. Um, but when it comes to like official announcements, like Sony skipped this year, and they did their announcement later for TVs. So um, that's what E3 should be. It should be
Yeah.
just a fan centric event. If the ESA wants to keep it alive, but yeah, I think and I'm still very curious about whatever that thing that Nintendo's doing in September. I think they opened registrations this week. Like I wish I could go. I wish I could afford the trip and go to that thing and check it out. Um, but it's yeah, I think that there's still a lot of stuff that wasn't announced, and that they're gonna have a separate event for it. So yeah. Any there was a few Xbox rumors out there. I don't know if you saw them, but that it's I don't know.
I'm sure they had a reaction
They
to that
they
showcase that
they did,
it,
yeah. They were like kind of like
internally.
yeah.
Yeah.
They were like kind of
I,
making fun of it.
oh, I'm sure. I
Yeah.
mean, it's kind of it's kind of like we're local here in Florida, right? Like Universal and Disney are always going at it. Like I kind of imagine like Microsoft right now is like just waiting for Sony to make that mistake and like maybe they can pick it up, but their only enemy is themselves, right? Like
Yeah.
they can't look at Sony as like you're taking competition away. It's like you're not even putting yourself in the game.
Yeah.
Like if Project Q is not going to be the thing that's the Achilles heel of Sony. Like if they don't put it out, then like it's okay. Like no one's gonna
maybe
be
maybe
super bummed.
maybe Project Q, like anything with a Q attached to it, it's probably not gonna happen.
Yeah, yeah. Look, that's a great. I love that. I
it's,
love that.
it's probably not gonna happen, man.
It's great. If you know, you know. Yeah, I mean, like, but you absolutely have a point to like. There's a very strong chance it doesn't happen, and if it does happen, I don't. It's not gonna set the press on fire. It's not gonna. It didn't blow us away at the announcement. It's not gonna blow us away when we get more.
Yeah.
Unless they really just restructure the whole thing and
And I was
Project Q evolves, and it
yeah,
could evolve a bit like into
good.
its own standalone thing where they're like, you know what, we showed this thing, but actually, surprise, we actually are going to make this thing basically the PS Vita 2. Like, I'm not saying it's the name,
I'm
but like, it wouldn't
sure
surprise me. It could evolve.
that they have their ear on the ground, and they saw
Yeah.
all the negative reaction to it. because I have not heard anything positive about it. Like
Yeah.
I heard to a couple of podcasts since it was announced. I watched a few videos about that
Hmm.
announcement, and I have not heard anyone say anything positive about it. Even ourselves, right? I called it trash,
Right.
and because it's useless to me. That's a useless device. It's like
Yeah.
it
There's
serves no purpose, in my opinion. You know,
no.
and
I'll use.
yeah, I know what they're trying to do, right? With like, oh, it's remote play, trying to. This is basically for the dude that plays Switch in the, in their on when they're out in the bed and they're playing before they go to sleep and they don't want to play on their console and it's like why wouldn't you want to play on your gigantic TV with
I mean,
headphones?
there's yeah, I know, I agree, but it's like, but like I said to you, there's already an answer to this, and then as long as you have an iPhone or an Android phone, which everyone does, like you just get a backbone. Like it's literally it's $100.
Yeah,
You plug it in, use the remote play app.
yeah.
Like you don't need to spend like you were theorizing like $300 or whatever for something that's going to do the same thing that you could have done for $100. That's the exact same thing. It's not going to take a crazy workaround or anything. It's probably going to be almost the exact same setup as a backbone. It's just that you have it's a permanent screen device, and
Yeah.
versus a
Actually,
phone you
I
do
would
multiple
rather
things.
have a backbone because
That's what I'm
you can put
saying.
the backbone in like your pocket, dude, and just
Yeah,
carry it around. Drop it in a backpack.
detachable.
You can drop it in a backpack. You already have your phone with you, and you can just play if you want.
Absolutely,
It's great.
absolutely.
There's Wi-Fi everywhere. I mean, latency is gonna be a big problem, right? But
Yeah.
I just don't know. By the way, I remember that Racer had made they released a PS5 earbuds not too long ago. I went back and checked their 150. They have the USB
Mm,
C. They have a USB C dongle that you plug into the PlayStation, which is probably more likely going to be the case with the PlayStation branded ones. They do have active noise canceling. They're 150, which is not bad. And you can still use it on Bluetooth with your phone. So for the Sony earbuds, like if they don't have noise canceling, they shouldn't cost more than $100, honestly. Um,
I just don't know how well even that's gonna sell, man. Like it's a cool concept,
I'm
kinda,
I'm
but
gonna be
you
brutally honest with you. I'm probably gonna buy them because I would
well,
rather use earbuds
you're a
than
sound guy,
yeah. Well, the thing is that because of earbuds are way more comfortable than the headset, right?
hundred
And
percent.
that not blaming the headset, right? But like I've had this HyperX headset for I don't know a long time now,
Right.
and I used it for my PS4 after my Gold headset broke.
Hmm.
So I used to just plug it into the controller, and I this is very comfortable. But that pulse, dude, I still to this day cannot get used to the pulse.
Wow. Wow.
And you remember when I first got the PS5 and I mentioned it, right? It's like I
Yeah.
can't get to it. I just can't get used to it. And to this day, dude, I played RE the other day for a few hours and it started hurting. It was pressing on my glasses and
Oh yeah.
yeah, I mean, I would rather just have the earbuds.
They're heavy. They're heavy.
Yeah, and it's not that they're heavy. I think it's just that their design is just weird. And
Yeah.
the headband, the little rubber headband is fine, but I just I just feel like the way that the ear cups kind of like come in like this, but then this part here kind of like
Yes.
pressures in is very
Yes.
strange.
Suction, kind of like.
Yeah, they sound good, but even back then when I had my Gold headset, this one sounded way better, like the HyperX one.
Wow.
Like
What's the price on a HyperX now?
this ones are like 80. Let me see. One.
It's just an interesting comparison.
Yeah.
At this point, I just feel like little Billy, right? He just got his
Oh,
first PS5, right? Like, is he gonna? He wants to get a headset. Does he get a headset or does he get the pods? Like, I'm curious what would
uh,
be the thing that's gonna sell more going forward. I don't know.
this ones are on sale on Amazon for $60 right now.
Nice.
Yeah, and they're the wired with a mic. They're not
Yeah.
the wireless ones. The wireless are
Right.
193. I'm looking at them now. Um, but yeah, those Racer ones were 150 for the earbuds, which is again not terrible, right? But I
No.
would rather wait for the Sony branded ones to come out and see how those compare. So,
Oh, for sure.
uh, cool. Yeah, we got a few more things here. We're gonna talk Star Wars when we come back, Joe.
Oh, I can't wait for
Oh
that.
man.
This is where the
So
fun
this is where the
begins.
fun begins. Since it's a topic that a lot of people seem to enjoy. So um, yeah, let's take a break and we'll be right back. And we are back. Joe, so Tony Gilroy, who has been attached to several Star Wars projects, more I guess famously with Rogue One, which in my opinion is the best out of the whole Disney bunch, by quite a bit. It's really good. I really like Rogue One. So it was stating that he was there's an article that it's posted on the direct, but it's citing Deadline on it, and he's talking about the I guess the toxic criticism or the toxic attacks that Kathleen Kennedy has gotten. And I want to talk about it because we talked extensively about it last week. And, you know, to be fair, and anyone that watched that video from last week, there was no, and I we pride ourselves in not being toxic, right? And but at some point you gotta call things how they are, and you know it's again, I respect her career. Like it's one of those things. She's done great things. But when you're not the right person, you're just not the right person, and we need to move on as soon as possible. And there was a report today. I don't know if you saw it that the 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 losses after the Last Jedi, like even starting with the Last Jedi, have been calculated in the billions, as I said uh, last week. So just want to put that out there, right? It's like we're not making stuff up. We're not talking about Star Wars. We're talking about Star Wars because there's news out there. We don't make stuff up. We don't make fake videos. We we don't say that Jon Favreau broke the internet, and then you look for the articles and there's no articles about Jon Favreau, right? We don't have any sources that say things. We're not
Don't
we
wear a
we
mask.
don't wear a mask. We love Star Wars, and you know, but we gotta we gotta stop the buck too. It's like we have to be conscious, and we gotta be objective about what's going on with Lucasfilm as a whole. So yeah, he's saying that he was shocked about the amount of vitriol and hatred that she's gotten. I know that some fans, more than one, some a vocal minority more than others, right? They're the ones that are out there putting stuff out, threats and you know saying despicable things about people that don't like and bullying people off of social media and all that, right? Again, we're not and I want to make it clear that we're not that kind of people. Um, we love Star Wars and we respect the people that work in these projects. But if you're incompetent, we just gotta call it as it is, right? Especially when you're costing a company billions of dollars in revenue. So yeah, Joel, I just looping back. Also, it's like, and I think I made a comment last week too about myself that it could be misconstrued. I said that I'm one of the wokest people I know. I was like, it's like I got thick skin.
This
I
man never sleeps.
Dude, I got thick. So that's the thing. I got thick skin. I really don't care. People can do whatever they want. I'm the kind of person that as long as you're not hurting people, you can do whatever you want. You can call yourself whatever. I don't care. Great. And I will respect that, right? I'm not gonna be the kind of person that is like, oh no, I go by this. It's like, yeah, sure, I'll call you by that. I was like, I'm not gonna make a big deal out of it because it's not Hyper Pride Month, everyone. So just putting it out there, Joel's face foaming, he's turning red. He's gonna get me.
Oh my
But I just
gosh.
want to make it clear, right? It's like I really don't care. People can do again if you're not harming anyone, not including yourself, right? Call yourself by whatever you want. It's fine. I great. That's awesome. So I just want to put it out there when I said that. So going back to Star Wars. Um, yeah, I mean, I think that some of the negativity has been overblown, but I think that some of the, I guess, negative feelings about how Lucasfilm has been handled since the acquisition, a lot of it is valid. A lot of it is valid, right? And we don't want to be here and be, negative Nancy and everything's bad and everything is terrible about Star Wars and they ruined my childhood, which we saw back with the prequels. It's nothing new, right? Um, but yeah, Joel, just gonna give you the opportunity, just I guess express about your feelings about the how how can we as a fandom be able to objectively criticize the things we love for and the people that are in charge of it that are not doing a great job but still maintain I guess a level head when we do these things.
It's a good question. And I think it's something we have to constantly evaluate because sometimes without realizing it, I'm learning more and more. There's a huge uh, misunderstanding between conscious and unconscious bias. And because we're so passionate about Star Wars, a lot of times we have biases just based upon the appearance of things, and it clouds our judgment of what really is. Um, let's be real. Just because you don't like something doesn't give you the right to become um, absolutely rude, um, toxic, harmful. It's just not the place for it. And if that's what you want to be saying, it's okay to do just because you don't like something, you might want to check yourself because if you're something I constantly say in personal life is like, I don't dish out what I wouldn't want to be served. And it's like some people will say stuff that's just so harsh. And it's like if someone ever said that to you, you would be like, "Oh, how could they say that? Oh, I can't believe it." But then why are you saying that to other people if you can't receive it yourself? You know, look, I like you just mentioned about having thick skin. I think I have pretty decently thick skin myself. You know, but at the end of the day, words still matter, and it's more symbolic and reflective of who we are. So, talking about Star Wars, when you are breaking down how you feel about something as a fan, you shouldn't feel like you're not allowed to say you don't like something or something that someone's doing because you're afraid of maybe how it may be perceived or being put in a group, right? Like just because I might say that I don't think Kathleen Kennedy is the person for the job, I don't want to be put into a group of, you know, crazy neckbeards that are just, screaming like the most harshest things that's very personal about her when I'm just talking about Star
Yeah.
Wars. Like I'm not talking about, what she ate for lunch today, Like it's not we gotta have a level understanding of what's okay, what's not okay. And even when you are talking about Star Wars and it's something that you and I are extremely passionate about, a huge fan, spent so much time, but I've spent more time with some of these movies than I have with certain family members. I mean, I when Carrie went, dude, I felt it.
Yeah,
Like
it was like my cool aunt died or something,
it
right?
was like, yeah,
Honestly,
my
yeah,
space. The space mom is gone.
yeah.
Like she's special. Was special, and not every fandom can say this. And Star Wars has been on for a long time and it's passing generations. But for it to continue for future generations, we have got to stop the divisiveness. Call it like it is. Like right now, we're saying what we realized with Kathleen Kennedy. Well, Obed made a great prediction early on. You could check it out back in 2020 and 2021, where everyone was all these reports. Oh, in August it's going to be announced that Kathleen Kennedy's gone. Oh, just wait for January, it's going to be announced. Oh, just wait for it, just wait for it. They were like the Xbox guys, right? Just wait, just wait.
According to some YouTube channels, she's been gone since like
She's been
2017 or
right.
something. Yeah.
She's been fired. You're gonna hear about it later. And then I remember one of the episodes, like in particular, like I purposely, I think I remember like texted it to you like on a weekend or something. I was like, look, she just did an interview with like Variety or whatever because she'd been very quiet for a period of time. Like after Rise of Skywalker, she wasn't really doing any interviews.
Yeah.
She wasn't doing a lot of public stuff and just stopped and evaluated. Here comes, The Mandalorian. Here comes the return of the Clone Wars. Here comes, these different projects that we saw that were kind of the next phase after the films. And I think, like I said, I stand by my words last week, right? Where I said, yes, it is her fault, but at the same extent, I personally hold Chapek more responsible because I think the initial hire, people were like, how could she initially get hired? How could you not want to hire her on? Like it was she
Right?
had the
She
qualifications,
got the resume,
right?
dude. Honestly, yeah.
George Lucas himself gave her the blessing, I mean, it was literally a part of the deal. You can fact check this stuff, right? So letting her finish out her trilogy totally makes sense. Like I think that yes, it would have been nice to have had, some people keep her in check and say, hey, are we, sure? But at the same time, I don't think Iger meddled. He let her cook. He let her do her thing. And she was the one who was interfering with her own creatives. And there's a whole, we can go past all that history,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
At the end of the day, Iger let her finish her trilogy. After that, that's when they should have said, thank you for your work, but, respectfully, we're moving on to a new direction and bring someone else in. That was where the problem was made. I really hold Chapek responsible for that, and I stick by that. I think a lot of people just keep wanting to hate on her. Here's another thing I say often also, man. Like, if we blame everyone else for our failures, but only take responsibility for our successes, like that's narcissism, right? And like when you see this with Kathleen Kennedy, we can't be the same way with her. Like this is when we're talking about, you just talked about being level-headed. It's
Yeah.
the same thing with her, right? Like you can't be like, okay, so I love the Mandalorian. Well, that's not her. That's all John.
That's
and
John
Dave.
Favreau. Yeah, exactly.
That's John Favreau.
That's
Dave.
a lot of people in the fandom.
last...
Yeah, a lot of people in the fandom seem to be like, "Oh yeah, that's because she's not interfering." Dude, when they do those roundtable things, she's there.
She's
like, are
there.
you kidding me, man?
Literally, right?
Yeah.
Oh, but when the Last Jedi is bad, that's not
her.
No.
Yeah.
Do I believe she has done more harm than good? Yes.
Yeah.
Like 75% of it has been bad. 25% of it has been like, huh. And then like, and in that 25%, like 15% of it has been like, oh my gosh, I can't believe what I'm seeing. This is incredible.
Yeah.
That's your Andors, that's your last 3 episodes of Clone Wars. That's your,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
That's
Like,
that's Luke and Mando and
yeah, Luke
yeah,
Commando,
exactly.
like those things that stuff
Ahsoka.
was allowed,
Yeah.
right? But more harm than good. So I just think when you just mentioned that about level head, like that's just me just more venting and just expressing how I feel
Yeah,
about
yeah,
like
yeah.
that's just with Star Wars. But I think with a lot of fandoms, you could see that where people just want to just find an excuse to blame the bad on some and the good on others. And like John Favreau has done some stuff with, Mando and like Dave Filoni was involved with the Book of Boba Fett. Not
Yeah.
everybody liked Book of Boba Fett. You can't just pass the buck only to Kathleen.
Yeah.
There's
Or
a
say
big
or blame
process.
Robert Rodriguez for it. It's like,
Or
why would
blame
you bring
Robert
Robert
Rodriguez.
Rodriguez for this thing? And he's not a good director, which he is, right? But he's very
Right,
passionate about Star Wars. It's
right.
been very clear, for a long time. So
That's my rant on level headedness in the
no,
fandom
and
with Star
yeah,
Wars,
totally.
and I think what this guy said in this interview, right? What Gilroy said here was basically pointing out the personal stuff, right? Like when
Yeah,
you cross a line where you just have to make it so personal,
yeah, exactly.
guys,
And you,
stop.
you don't have to like it.
The executive should never make it personal. Like I made a joke about being like a neck beard or whatever, this kind of stuff, right? Like that's just I'm being playful, okay? Like I'm not
Yeah,
actually like canceling people because of how they look or something. I'm, you know,
Pac-Man.
I need to shave myself. But but what I am saying is like it should be never crossing a line where you make it
Yeah,
about this sector of people, this group of people. Like it's just Star Wars. Let's not make it
yeah,
political. Let's not make it like oh, because she's a woman and it's a man. Like this
yeah,
stuff becomes just if you don't like what she's doing, we just don't like what she's doing.
yeah.
We
We don't
like
like
what
what
this is.
exactly.
We
Yeah,
like what this
we
is.
can we
Keep
can
it there. Move on.
yeah, we can say that, and that's the main thing, right? And I think that I mean a lot of I guess YouTube channels that cover Star Wars more adamantly that we do. Like we love Star Wars, right? But that's not we cover a broad range of topics in the show. So uh, it's very tribalistic too. It's like you see it in the comments. You go down in the comments and everyone's the same and no one says anything different, right? They're all the same thing. And it's like it's this outrage bait basically. A lot of it that's out there is outrage bait, and it pays off, dude. It's I
Yeah.
mean, it's very
Yeah.
clear that outrage
Yeah.
bait will get you a lot of hits, and it will get you a lot of clicks, and it will get you a lot of money. But we don't want to be
Yeah.
those guys, right? We want to be like we still want to be able to criticize Star Wars and say it's like, hey, I don't agree with this choice. Book of Boba Fett, solid 6.5. Had its moments, but as a whole, I cannot say that it was a masterpiece. But I can also say that it was not garbage, right? Because I've seen way worse things than the Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. So we have to
Have you
be
seen
able.
She-Hulk?
I can say wholeheartedly, Joe, that She-Hulk was trash.
That was bad.
It was bad.
That was actually
And
bad.
I'm not,
Like,
and again, I'm not putting it on the, whoever was involved with the project. I'm just telling
no.
you, it's like, hey, you made this project. Unfortunately, your project is not good.
Right. I will
And that's
not
it.
attack
And
or
I will
start making
stop it.
assumptions and that like that's it. It just wasn't good.
And we'll stop at
Yeah.
that, right? And, yeah, She-Hulk's it's not good.
Not good.
Like, not by any stretch of the imagination. But we're not here trashing the writers. It was like, oh, they hired these writers that never had writing experience, or they did writing for this other menial thing and gave them a full like MCU show, right?
Yeah.
Whatever, right? I don't care. I like I said, I don't care. I don't care, right? But what if your thing's not good? You're gonna get told it's not good. It's like when you go to school, right? And you get a bad grade. It's like, hey, you got a D. It's like how can I get a D? I'm so and so. It's like, yeah, you got a D, and that's
Right.
that's
Your
it.
work wasn't good.
And your work wasn't good, and that's the facts, right?
What a great analogy.
You know, that's that's it. Yeah, you can probably fight it, but it's probably not gonna get you
Yeah.
Usually the way that you redeem yourself is by redoing it or doing something extra to try to correct your
Mm.
problem, which is they are not
Ah.
doing.
Right. We want to move forward. We don't want Star
Yeah.
Wars to be where it is. We want it to move forward.
Speaking
So
of,
that's what yeah.
yeah, yeah, we gotta move on. We gotta move on.
You're good. You're good.
Speaking of people that we want to move forward from, what's up with the Flash, Joe?
Whew. You can't save the world alone. Um, look, The Flash right now, the directors is in the press. Everything about this movie is in the press. I'm seeing it being talked about on social media nonstop. They're really trying to push the marketing on it. Did you see the drone thing that they did like out in the
I
middle?
didn't know.
Like yeah, dude, it was like a crazy like drone show they did. It just reminds me of like Transformers: Age of Extinction. Do you remember like when they did like the different like fireworks shows and like
Oh,
Imagine Dragons had like like a performance outside and all this
okay.
whatever, like really trying to get it hyped up.
Yeah.
Now I can tell you, I actually think this is a good movie. I ain't compare this to Age of Extinction. I've seen the movie, guys. Um, it exists. Yeah, he's wearing Transformers. Um, but Andy Machete, right, the director, came out straight up and was asked, "Hey, you do another movie, you're gonna have a different actor as the Flash," and he's basically said, "There's no one else better for the role than Ezra Miller. That there will not be a recasting if Andy Machete is brought back to direct a sequel." And whoo, it was trend. The Flash was trending in the top 20, dude. And then you start going through the comments, and oh my goodness, the amount of people roasting this, so upset and being like, "What
Oh
a
man.
joke! Can you imagine? Like Henry Cavill can't even get a call,
Right.
but this dude could kidnap a kid and he gets to keep a
Allegedly, Joe.
job."
Allegedly.
Yeah, sure,
Yeah.
sure. Uh, you
I don't
know,
want. I don't
uh,
want. I don't want a podcast to get shut down.
yeah,
Allegedly. Yeah.
yep. Allegations,
Yep.
allegations. You have all this kind of stuff going on, right? Where it's just not a good look, and yet you can keep potentially keep job. Now, here's the thing: the director is saying this. Remember, I mentioned to you like we were talking about Kathleen Kennedy last week, where I said to you like with the Dial of Destiny, where if the movie does really good, then yeah, like the show goes on. But if the movie bombs, that's when consequences start to come in. That's where I think like her fate will be sealed with this movie, right? With Dial of Destiny. With The Flash, it's the same thing. And this movie is trending very negatively. It is soft. It is trending maybe to be $70 million at the
That's
moment. It has
unfortunate.
dropped
Yeah.
week after week. No matter, and I think that's why people like myself, and if you've noticed, now they're having like 2 or 3 times a week now screenings.
Wow.
You're,
Really?
you're hearing like if you go on check on social, they had one just not yesterday, but the night before, I think in Miami. There's with the actress who played Supergirl out there. They're doing these different events, and a lot of the different influencers they're trying to use to market this thing to get people, hey, you gotta see this, you gotta see this. They're really trying to save this movie because it is trending so badly. And it just shows it doesn't matter the positive word of mouth. I think there's a couple factors, one being just like we just saw. If you literally just go right now on social media, check out this Andy Machete article and see what the comments are. I couldn't find one person defending. And usually there's like a little bit of a balanced argument. Ain't nobody was happy about seeing Ezra Miller still around. No matter how good the performance, the performance is good. Ezra's performance is good. I'm telling you, Ezra did the job well. But like people were not happy about it, so that doesn't help, right? There's a lot of groups of people that are saying, I'm not going to see it no matter as long as this person's in it. Totally fair. Get it. You're allowed to do that. But then you also have the Shazam and the Black Adam effect, where like Shazam 2 was not good. I've been very clear about this, right? Black Adam, I actually thought was entertaining, but I know it's not a great movie. And like you see that like with those movies, it didn't matter that you had The Rock and it didn't matter you have this stuff. Like DC has almost like a negative connotation around it now, where there's no buzz because people just are not excited about anything that they're putting out. Where this is The Flash, Michael Keaton's return as Batman, dude. Like Ben Affleck's back as Batman. These are confirmed things. I'm not spoiling anything, right?
Yeah.
Dude, this should be easily 100 to 150 million easily on opening weekend.
I think they're
Why
not.
is it trending so low?
I think they're underestimating nostalgia. A lot of people that grew up watching the Keaton movies are gonna go. Um, a lot of people don't have a clue what's going on with Miller.
I
So
agree. I
a lot of
agree.
people are not gonna care, right?
I agree.
Um, ultimately, right? And going back to like the Henry Cavill, discussion and whatnot. To be fair, right? If they're like this is the second to last movie from the old guard.
Right.
Right? And I know that James Gunn, likes the movie and whatnot, and that's why the movie they kept pushing for it to be released and completed. So,
Yeah.
but after Aquaman 2, that's it, and you know, and then it's just a waiting game and see what happens, right? So to make the assumption that there may be another movie, it's pretty it's a pretty big assumption from the director's part. So,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
and at this point, right? And I know that they're trying to course correct, but again, you know, if I do something wrong, right, and it's disproven, I apologize. I put in my effort to make sure that this sort of things are not going to happen, right? That based on what the allegations are, I'm I'm fine with it. That's it. Just giving him a bland yeah, keep on going when you have other like fan favorites like Cavill not coming back, kind of stinks, right? Um,
But if you literally cost them money, like let's say they said like Kathleen Kennedy, like if you start costing the people money,
this movie's
you know what
already
I'm
over
saying,
budget, dude.
right?
Yeah, I mean with
Like
the
I
reshoots
can't
and the
imagine
holdups and
that.
all that,
I think Ezra's done, dude. I don't think this
I don't
happens.
think this happens.
But does it? I mean, it's possible. But I just if this movie bombs the way it's like looking to go, it
Yeah.
may just barely break even. Though the one thing it has going for it, I started looking up just after this argument was, what are the movies that come out afterwards? Because like you think, for example, like Little Mermaid right now, now it's got to compete against like Spider Man, like that's gonna go crazy, right?
So
And then
and
after
that
that, you have
and
then you
Spider
have
Man's gonna
Transformers.
yeah, Spider Man's gonna roll over like Little Mermaid real
Yeah, Spider Man's gonna go crazy, right?
yeah.
And Little Mermaid did extremely well. Like after this weekend, dude,
Domestically.
domestic, which like, dude, literally the budget is 200 million, and I think it just hit it tonight. I think it already like hit it
Alright.
by the end of this weekend. If it gets 50%, they're gonna be in the profit, right? So like, movie's gonna be just fine, right? But then you start looking at, like Spider-Man kind of gonna do well. You look at Transformers and gonna do well. Then you have Flash. The thing that it has going for it is there's no major movie comes out until like July 14th, like which is I think Mission Impossible.
Okay.
Like so if the movie has good word of mouth and it has legs, it should be able to really make a break even to make a profit over those, 2.5 weeks or whatever it has, 3 weeks that it has of just, no real competition against it.
Yeah.
I'm going to be watching this box office very closely because this could be an indicator to the future of where DC goes. As you have probably heard, they've left the ending to be ambiguous. I can confirm that. And there's no post credit scene, so I'll see when it comes out. I think this could be very telling where this thing goes.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we gotta wait and see. I mean, like I said, stranger things have happened. So
True.
it wouldn't surprise me that it does happen, right? But at the same time, you gotta be mindful of the fan base, and the fan base is asking for other stuff. You gotta pay attention to that too. So you can't have that disconnect. Like we talked about it last week again with Lucasfilm. So,
Yeah.
last bit of news that I have here, we got finally some information on Metal Gear Solid Delta, Snake Eater, the remake of MGS3. So when they said that the voice cast was going to be back, they didn't really meant that the voice cast was going to be back. It's just that the the voice work that was done for Snake Eater will be carried over to this one.
Same
I
tracks, right? Same
don't
audio
know how I
tracks.
feel about this, Joe,
Yeah.
because it's very 2005 PS2 acting. Um, Not bad, right? There are some things that I would that are kind of like, how would I say it? Just for accuracy, right? It's like Snake talking to the Russian dude in Russian, and they're actually speaking in English, which is a pet peeve that I have in movies too. Like if you set a movie in friggin' Russia, have people speak in Russian. Don't have them speak in English with a Russian accent. It's ridiculous. I'll read the subtitles. I don't care. Um, but that sort of thing happened in the game a few times, um, and I would have liked for that to be corrected. But if that's, I can live with it, right? I can live with not it not being uh, fixed. So there's also more information about who's working on it. So this is technically an internal Konami project with whoever's left from the old Kojima Productions in Konami, in conjunction with Virtuos Studios. Virtuos, which I find it funny because Virtuos, it's attached to Metal Gear Solid 3. But Virtuos is what did they do again? Hold on. I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna look it up. So Virtuos did. They helped with Horizon, so they're more of a kind of like secondary, like they're like a help studio, kind of like what um a lot of the work that these guys do, Iron Galaxy is. Iron Galaxy, they do work with different projects, right? It's like they some of the guys would work on graphics, some would work on design, on combat, right? That sort of thing. So that's kind of like what Virtuos do. So they do secondary work. So they're basically the ones doing the I guess the back end of the game, and then the old Kojima Productions, Konami internally is doing the project. It's handling or mainlining the project. So um, this is good? Question mark. Um, with the voice acting, that's fine, right? Um, this game is not even if you play the original one, right? Yeah, it does have its quirks, the PS2 quirks, but it's not as it's not as outdated as some other games. It does need a little bit of I guess streamlining. A lot of the things, a lot of the some of the mechanics are a little bit dated, but just updating those mechanics to something more, I guess, friendly. It's probably gonna be it's probably gonna be a good thing. Now that said, the community reacted to the news that the voice acting is gonna be the same very positively. So um, that's good on that end, right? At least the fans are happy with that. But we'll see. It's no other announcements or dates or anything. It's I don't know what this is gonna be until it comes out. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. So
Do you think that the voice thing about them just using like the old audio tracks, like, do you think that that could be a cost cutting thing, or
totally,
right? Like you have to pay the talent to come through, which
and saves
I don't know,
savings too.
and
Like
saving
some of
production
these
time.
like voice acting sessions take forever. Like they
Yeah.
take a long time. So that's why like this game's like Persona take so long to come out. It's just that there's like you're talking about like hundreds of thousands of lines in these games.
Yeah.
So I mean, Metal Gear is not like MGS3 is not as crazy as other games, but the voice work takes a lot of time. So if you already have the voice work and the level design done, right, and all you need to do is basically come up with a modern graphics and improved or modernized mechanics, uh, this game's probably gonna come out late next year, more than likely.
Yeah, I think
So
so. I mean,
yeah, if you're already saving that not counting that the rumors that this remake's been in the works for a while now.
the
So
cinematic was pretty well put together. They've got stuff.
yeah, they got stuff. Yeah, I'm sure we're probably gonna see a gameplay reveal at the Game Awards if Jeff
Oh, for
Keighley
sure.
lets him, right? Because you know how that goes when it's between him and Kojima, and if Kojima's not involved with the project as it was confirmed, of course, right?
Yeah.
He's probably gonna say no, and they're gonna have to show it somewhere else. But maybe they can show it again at the other PlayStation thing. So that's what we got. Again, thank you guys for sticking around. Thanks you guys for your support. No show next week, but I will make sure to sprinkle in some content throughout the week. In the meantime, Joel, where can everyone find us?
Absolutely, yeah, and like just to piggyback off what you were saying, like I'll have also the Spider-Man Across Spider-Verse, review going up this weekend as well. So look out for that. And if I get a chance to go out and see Transformers, I may also throw one of those out too
I,
next week. So
I
we'll
want to I
see.
want to go. I'm gonna try and go.
Oh, and Beast
Yeah,
Wars. I understand. I understand.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
so if you maybe we'll get an Obed review and a Joel review. I don't
Hey,
know.
hopefully, let's
Hey,
see.
it
Yeah,
could be a good idea.
yeah.
Um, y'all, thank you so much for sticking with us. We want to encourage you to stay subscribed to No Load Time, to make sure you're subscribed on podcast platforms of your choice, places like Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts. You can find us there. Make sure you're subscribed and following us. You also can subscribe to the video version on our YouTube channel. Thank you to everyone who's been joining the family and following us. You guys are awesome. We really appreciate it. And we encourage you to, write a review on the podcast platforms. That really helps us get exposure. By subscribing, the same thing. Again, you're helping us get exposure. We don't ask you guys to give us money. We're asking you guys just to show support by just hitting the like, by hitting the subscribe. That's the stuff that helps us to really continue to grow. It's not about fame and popularity for Obed and I. We just really enjoy this, and we're having a great time. We want you all to be a part of this with us. So thank you for being there with us. Make sure to also follow us on social media at No Load Time. That's at No Load Time. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. If you're watching on the video version, you'll see those handles down below. Also, if you are following us on Twitch, that'd be awesome. We broadcast live or recordings of the show on Twitch. No Load Time altogether. That's No Load Time altogether on Twitch. And last but not least, if you have a question, comment, or feedback, we welcome you to send in an email to noloadtime@gmail.com. That's noloadtime@gmail.com. Maybe, just maybe, we'll even talk about what you send in on a future episode. We thank you all so much. Stick with us. More to come. We'll see you guys in a couple weeks.
Thank you guys. Stay safe. We'll see you again next time.